I need to time out exactly how long it takes when you press go live until it goes live.
What I was waiting for.
You produce stuff. I mean, have you noticed that? Like there's that pause there?
I believe it's 5 seconds, a little bit longer, maybe.
It feels like a long 5 seconds to me.
Yeah.
It's closer to 6.5, if you ask me.
Just play it safe. What I was fearing is that you were going to start dancing before it went live, and then I started dancing, and then right as it went live, you were going to stop dancing, and then I was going to still be dancing, and then I was going to look like an idiot.
Yeah. Dancing. Yeah.
Well, there's no music, so it's just like.
That's why. That's true. That's true. I mean, I could get us music if you want, but then nobody can see us dance.
No, that's true. That's true.
I have a video. I got a video that like blocks out everything. You don't want to see the video. Okay, maybe you want to see the video, but not yet. We got to work up to the video. You have to earn the video.
That's what we said. The dancing girls were cut from the budget.
There's only so much budget we have. 2020's been rough, and no dancing girls, but we got dancing balls.
Dancing balls. Low blow.
Are you having a seizure?
Both of those, they look the same.
Okay. All right. I was just curious about that. So this is welcome to the Low Blow Underground, where really there's no rules. We do what we want.
Yeah.
And so really anything good. You have a question for us? It's kind of like an AMA. You can ask us anything, and look at that.
I feel this is the
he's ready to go.
This is the underground look. I have a hood.
Wait. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
On the Low Blow Underground, anything goes.
Anything.
And if you're wondering, I do also have my Kanye / Macho Man glasses too.
Damn right.
But then I can't see anything if I do that. So anyway, so here on the Low Blow Underground, I figured this is a good opportunity to ask for ideas or suggestions. We realized we are like a month away from 15 years of wrestling audio.
Yeah. Wow.
And if you remember about a year ago, we announced Wrestling Audio Goes Home, that we were going to wrap things up. We were going to be done doing the shows and everything, unless a great opportunity came. And that great opportunity came in the often new Devon Dudley. Be happy he hasn't done that on camera yet. But when a WWE Hall of Famer wants to host a show on the site, you stick around. But I've actually had people ask me, are we sticking around? And the answer is I mean, we have momentum right now. Devon's been great. We're doing the video thing, and that's where I'm going with this conversation here, is those of you wrestling fans, if you listen to other podcasts, you watch other streams, you check out these articles and reviews, why? And I'm not saying like you're not a fan, but like what catches your eye? Like why those specific ones?
Ooh, okay.
Because you and I, we have been doing Raw recaps and SmackDown recaps and Impact recaps. Let's talk TNA. And we've been doing those for so long. You and I have agreed off the air. Maybe from time to time it's cool, but on a week-to-week basis, it's not as fun for us.
Yeah, it's not
Maybe it's stale. I mean, it can still be fun depending on the topic, but it's just a stale concept for us. So those of you who do check out the other dirt sheets and the other wrestling sites, what catches your eye? Like, do you like a high-low recap? Do you like a segment-by-segment recap? Or do you just like general topics? So that's the kind of stuff that we want to know. So, we can better entertain you, and it's different for us.
And really, I mean, some of this is, and I never, ever thought I would say that I was jealous of Greg. But like when you do a show with Greg, you get to talk news and trending topics. Whereas if those topics don't directly affect the high-low list, they don't normally come up with you and I.
Right.
Unless it's like huge.
So you're jealous of Linda McMahon stories.
I mean,
he's got this weird fascination with that. I'll tell you that. whenever I see Linda McMahon in any headline, any story, I know if I'm recording a big show with Greg the Sound Guy, I know we're going to talk about that for whatever reason. I think he thinks it's funny. It's like, it's that joke. Like South Park likes to beat the joke into the ground until it's funny again. I think Greg's waiting for it to be funny again. And again is even a loose term.
I was going to say, the main thing is, will it be funny again? Was it funny before?
Yeah, to him, I think, but I don't know. But you're right. You're right. That where we've been handcuffed to high-low lists, and we've done some specialty shows here and there, and I think we'll probably bust out some more specialty shows now that we're getting more comfortable here on the live streams and whatnot. But if anybody, again, if you got suggestions, don't send us to a site. No, tell us why you like it. You know, tell us what draws you to that podcast, that stream, that article, whatever it may be, and maybe we'll steal it. Maybe we do it better. I don't know.
Shamelessly steal stuff.
Don't know. So with that said, we do have a couple general topics we're going to talk about. Balls and I actually, believe it or not, working and communicating with one another ahead of time.
I'll be honest, it's weird.
It is. It is very weird. However, there is one thing I didn't tell you about.
This always happens.
Why would you say that?
Because it always happens.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Bam!
Oh, guess the...
And that's a very round package. I mean...
It is. Is this a swerve? Like, I feel I know what package this is, but I'm wondering if it's the other package. I'm guessing it's definitely a Young Buck package. But is it Matt Jackson's package? Or is it Nick Jackson's package?
Just take that conversation, take those statements out of context.
There's no other way. If you're listening to the audio version, there's no other way to take this. My parents are so proud of me right now. Like,
all right, so anybody not aware, we'll give Balls another second to think about it. Anybody not aware, Balls, the other show's on hiatus right now, but he's one of the hosts of Fig Speak podcast, which is an action figure toy podcast, and he's kind of like the expert, the action figure expert here. And so a couple weeks ago, decided let's see how well he knows his action figures, and we put an action figure groin on the screen, much like right now, and we want to see how well he knows his toy packages.
I think this is Nick Jackson's package.
All right, let's see. Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson.
Damn it.
And I figured, it was topical this week. AEW getting the AEW getting their first toys, their first action figures released this week, and this one I found somebody bought one of the Young Bucks, and not the other one.
I like it.
Yeah. So that'll actually lead us into bam. First one. So it should be interesting. So we're doing this on a Thursday night. Some of you are streaming us live. Many of you are listening or watching on demand later after the fact. These puppies, people are bloodthirsty for them.
I was going to say, here is a loose term because I haven't found him yet. You found Matt Jackson.
One person, one half of a tag team.
One half of the Young Bucks.
And that was the last one. So let's rewind a little bit. So these figures from the AEW show, Jericho, both Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and am I missing any from that first wave? Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho.
So that's the first wave from All Elite Wrestling, and they were supposed to hit on Monday, right?
Monday is what I was told. Yes.
Yeah, and that's when AEW had like commercials and promos that put it on their social that these were coming out. So you and I both know some people that were going on. I had a listener reach out to me, one of my radio listeners, knowing I'm a geek, and was giving me play-by-play of, okay, I'm at the Walmart on this road now. Okay, nothing here. I'm going to go to this one next. And like I'm like,
Thanks.
if you find something, save something for me or pick it up so I can pay you back or something. And so that's what I'm worried, because we're doing this on a Thursday night. The heavy rumor that a lot of the Walmarts, and they are Walmart exclusive toys for now. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, is going to be when more are putting them out. At least that's the expectation.
The rumor was it was supposed to be Monday, and then allegedly things got pushed back because of the hurricane, in Florida on
the Shane Helms have to do with this. Boom, boom. Thank you.
AEW speculation, hurricane confirmed.
I got hurricane right there. Okay.
Right there.
I got the hurricane right there.
Yeah, so allegedly, Walmart's doing phase changes, whatever you want to call it. It's where they basically reset their aisles for, believe it or not, Christmas.
The holidays. They're here.
When if
you are a toy collector, a lot of clearance at a lot of stores right now.
Absolutely. Stuff you wouldn't think is on clearance yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're resetting their aisles for Christmas. AEW and all the stores that I've been to is like literally the pegs right next to WWE.
Yep.
But yeah, I've seen in equal Walmarts I've seen are pegs with labels, no figures, or completely not reset at all yet. So I think the figures are arriving this week. You had confirmed or heard a confirmation that Friday was the big day. So I'm excited to go look for tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Some places have already put them out early. We just literally a minute before we went live, we had a listener tag us on Twitter to say, "Look what I found," and he found Kenny Omega in the wild. Mine was interesting. So I have 3 Walmarts in my town.
Okay.
And then I have 2 that are maybe a half an hour out of town that there's like nothing between. It's just drive. So I don't go to those too often, but I went to Walmart.com just, out of boredom, just to see maybe they would have them on the website. And they had one. And the thing is, getting Matt Jackson, I didn't know I was going to get Matt Jackson. As you know, this was a mystery. It was assortment, like selection varies or whatever their terminology is. And they said, hurry, 1 left. I'm going to gamble. Like, you even know for a fact, I bought it. I reserved it to pick up at store. Yeah. I didn't even think it was going to be an AEW figure. I thought somebody's going to put a WWE figure aside, not knowing the difference.
Yeah. Oh, that could be very true.
Yeah. That's what I assumed, but I got there. I was very pleasantly surprised they had it, but that also means most likely they had the rest of the set and somebody, picked them up and didn't tell the rest of us. That son of a bitch.
I know, right? You obviously don't have a large toy network in your area. Keeps everyone informed.
Everybody's greedy. That's what it is. There's not people looking out for one another here. No, it's anything goes. And there's a few exceptions, yes, but that's more on the Funko Pop side of things.
And I will say, and for everybody, if you see these figures and you're interested, don't let them go. You need to pick them up. Because it's basically been said that in retail, there's this happy medium where for your first wave or 2, you can't over order. Yeah, wave or 2. Oh, God. You said you didn't write any puns, but damned if you aren't full of just visual puns today, right? Finger guns. In retail, you can't, if you want your line to succeed at retail, you cannot over order a series 1 or series 2, because then the store will drown in it, and then they won't order series 3 on because they think it's, no one's buying it. So there's this happy medium to where you have to, they're sending enough out to definitely get to stores, but not necessarily enough to always be in stock. So if you see them and you want them, buy them, because number one, it's going to tell the company and Walmart that these are good, and they want longevity. So don't take your
let us know.
Yeah, let somebody know.
Let somebody know. Absolutely. Nathan says, "Sorry, I'm late, guys. Been a hell of a week." It's all right, Nathan. Welcome to the Low Blow Underground.
Yeah,
anything goes.
You missed that part where it was dark and everyone had their shirts off. It was weird, just like Raw Underground.
I don't remember that. Was I blacked out for that?
You were.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so AEW figures. Let us know if you're not going to buy them. We'll be happy to
We'll buy them
with that. And supposedly there's a Jericho chase too.
There's a Jericho chase and a Cody Rhodes chase, or Cody chase.
So what's the Cody chase?
The Cody chase, he has a T-shirt on. It's like a different paint deco on his pants,
and
it's a T-shirt.
The main Jericho is the full black studded outfit.
Yeah.
And then full, the chase is just like a T-shirt and like the belt, isn't it?
And it's old school wrestling figure chases where Jericho, I think, is one of 5,000. No, one of 1,000.
Yeah.
And then the Cody is one of 500.
Okay.
So even if you don't like Cody and you see a one of 500 figure,
you get
that up.
Is there
like Cody?
Is there stickers though that say that?
Yes. From everything that I saw, the stickers are on there.
See, so I ran into the issue of trying to get people to look for me, like if they're in different areas, not just for AEW, but in general, like, hey, be on the lookout for this. And I tell people it's easier to send me a picture of the selection because it'd be like, oh, is this person in this outfit? Like you have to tell them that. And I like that because collectors can't just casually walk by and be like, ooh, Chase. And then resell it for a huge markup. So I get it. I mean, it's cool they have that sticker so you could show other people. If you're a real fan, you'd be like, look, bitches.
Well, I will say that the ones they were teasing had them on there. So if they're still on there when they hit retail, I don't know. But because I have not seen anything yet.
What's up, Justin? How you doing? Welcome to the Low Blow Underground. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Which I'm still waiting for, like an anything goes scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still pretty cool, calm and collected right now. We're Shane McMahon. We're excited. We're hyped, but nothing crazy's happened yet.
No. They keep cutting it like, oh, wait, we're going to cut down to Low Blow Underground.
So let's talk about it then. We talked about enough toys, or have we? But Raw Underground, something that we got with 12 hours notice. If that.
Yeah.
So not a whole weekend. It wasn't promoted on SmackDown that I'm aware of. It was just like you wake up, you scroll. Oh, Raw Underground. Huh. Okay.
It was like, hey, there's a new faction coming. And hey, there's a new thing with Shane McMahon. And you're like,
Shane McMahon's back after losing a career versus career match.
Yeah. And you're going, do these two things have anything to do with each other? I don't know. Maybe I'll watch Raw and find out. Will I be disappointed by both? Probably.
Okay, so I'm going to go and say an unpopular opinion here about Raw Underground. I'm okay with the concept for now. We don't really know what we're getting from it. Like, we got a few underground fights, and then we got the Hurt Business interrupting, but we don't know. Like, this was this is the one-time thing. We don't know what we're getting from it yet.
Okay.
It's like judging a book by its cover. We haven't been able to dive in yet.
Can you answer me one question? How hard did you groan or eye roll when the ECW style dancing girls, not even like good ECW, WWE ECW dancing girls in the background?
One, Extreme Expose was their name. Thank you.
Thank you. I forgot.
How dare you? Kelly, Brooke, Tessmacher, Brooke Adams.
Or Adams, yeah. And
Layla.
It was Layla, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Layla was who I thought in my head, but I was like, I thought that was like after Lay Cool. I don't remember when things happened on SmackDown.
Give you guys credit. Certainly an interesting segment. I assume she means Low Blow Underground, where anything goes.
Where anything goes. Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. So, so Raw Underground is this weird Fight Club sort of thing where it's obviously staged. I think it was supposed to be presented where it looks like it's a real shoot fight.
Yeah.
But you could tell by that first big dude that when he's not really connecting with the guy, it's still, All right. They can work on that. They can probably ditch the dancers, unless the dancers start kicking ass, and that's a swerve none of us were expecting.
Yes. They start shoot fighting on their little dance podium.
They're like, we're dancing. We're tired of dancing.
Like, within 6 minutes, just all hell breaks loose.
And they start like kicking everybody's asses. That would be awesome.
Is
Dolph being a part of it, like I wouldn't say I loved the segments, but I didn't hate it like everybody else, just because we're getting more of it.
Yeah,
and and even Shane at the end said, "Well, there's some things, we're adapting, we're changing." Whatever the exact terminology was, acknowledges, hey, this may not be a final product.
It's Shane going, "We've been reading Twitter the entire time, and we get it. There are issues that we see."
Yeah, and that's
is it
that's
weird
all right.
Is it weird to you that it's in the same building? Where like I think it's supposed to be like it's like an off-site fight club where you're like, obviously it's down the hall, because the Hurt Business can be like, "Oh yeah, we're going over here," and it's like through this door. And
I mean, it's Raw Underground. It's not Raw Block Over.
I get it that it's not in like, it's not Lucha Underground.
Raw Fight Tour. Yeah, so I mean, I get it. I mean, it's weird. Like, you should have some of the other fighters like in the background.
Yeah.
As the Riot Squad's talking to Charlie. Some of these sweaty people are in the background. Be like, "Ooh, that was a good fight today."
Yeah. Just counting money or something. Like,
there should be a bit more interaction there. Like, are the underground people sneaking in after Raw begins? Are they already there ahead of time?
Why?
Where are these people coming from? Like, how do they get invites?
Now I'm trying to remember. Was the Raw Underground crowd COVID-19 face masked?
Some.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
So for the most part, you had like this certain angle. So you see Shane in the background getting all giddy, rubbing his nipples or whatever he was doing, and then the two people fighting in the ring, and then you had a couple people in the crowd, and all of the females had the face mask on, but there was one guy right at the corner that the camera always caught.
Yeah,
no mask at all from this guy. So then, does he get fined? WWE is fining people for not wearing a mask in the crowd.
It's Raw Underground. Anything goes.
Apparently, and that means goes around the Rona.
Oh, yeah.
The Rona goes around.
Goes around and around and around and around.
That's how you win Raw Underground, is by you getting everybody else sick.
Completely unrelated. I liked Dolph Ziggler being there, and they were like, he's a collegiate wrestler from Kent State. And it was like, well, at least they're putting over like his collegiate wrestling about why he might be interested in this.
And that's the thing, is like, this could be a renewed interest for some of these stars. Like, I saw it out there. I think it's probably a bit of a stretch, but this could be the way that they lead to Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. I think that's far-fetched. I don't think that's going to happen, but this could open up opportunities for Lashley, Riddle, Orny Lorcan, Thatcher. I mean, like, there are people that,
like, a lot of the guys that I would think that this would work for are on SmackDown. Drew Gulak, Chad Gable, Daniel Bryan, like Matt Riddle, like you mentioned.
But we do have a draft coming up, so you've been drafted to Raw Underground.
Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, Raw Underground.
Unemployment line, Raw Underground.
Raw Underground.
It's only 1 week in, and if we always judged pro wrestling by the first and only week that something's aired, then Lord knows The Rock would never have been The Rock.
That's true.
We would have fired Braun Strowman before he even made it to TV.
That's true. Rosebud.
So Husky Harris would have never been turned into Bray Wyatt. I mean,
okay.
I don't expect this to be a game changer, but it might not be as bad as we think, especially if the stars, like if the Hurt Business is the part of this and they're invested, it could end up being decent.
No, it's true. That is true.
I'm just trying to be optimistic in a year full of shittiness.
You know what Raw Underground needs?
More dancers?
Well, no, I think you'll agree with me. I'm pretty sure it needs ninjas.
It might. I mean, the ninjas just hang out, apparently. They get paid to stand around.
I would like, you know what? I would like to see the ninjas show up at Raw Underground and actually act like ninjas.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what happened. Like the comments come in live during table talk, but here on the low blow, they seem to come in later. So from 10 minutes ago, this message just popped up about AEW figures. So
Oh wow, okay.
Apologize if you are commenting and we're a little bit late to get to them. 2 weeks in a row. I don't know what the issue is.
I don't know what the issue is either.
That is very odd that we don't have this. I don't have this issue on the other stream, but I'm hosting it both days.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
And it's not like a different login or anything. Literally, it's a different background. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can even move over to that background. If maybe that's it. Maybe that's the case. We just need this background. And now watch all of them pour in.
That would be so weird.
That would be something else, yeah.
Oh, man.
But nothing. All right, so we apologize if we haven't gotten to some of your comments. Got that. But Raw Underground, if you have thoughts on it, I'm sure everybody disagrees with me, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I'm not a horrible person.
So last thing about Raw Underground, is it connected to Retribution? Or is it
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I mean, two new things happening on the same night, you kind of got to question a little bit of it. And Retribution, if you haven't heard, is the name vandals that threw a Molotov cocktail at generators at the Performance Center. When you say, or when you promote that a faction is going to appear, do you feel maybe that it would be more than grainy?
That the faction should appear? Yeah.
This is what I keep thinking is like, is this their first appearance? If this is comic books, is this their first appearance or is this a tease? Is next week their first appearance?
That's a good question. That's a good, legit question right there.
Yeah.
I was wondering that too. I do think there is a truth to all these rumors, all of these reports going around that it was pure chaos backstage before 2 Raws were taped back to back. And from what I understand, I may or may not have inside sources. From what I understand, the show was supposed to start filming at like 2:45, give or take local time.
Yeah. And
the script wasn't even finalized till 3.
Okay.
And then people kind of had to rush to get into place and to get what they were going, like their segments, all of that stuff. So I wonder if the original plan was new faction tonight. Start promoting it. Let's get it out there. Script change. Well, let's hold off a week, but you already begun promoting it.
Yeah.
So,
I would
they filmed it. They filmed all of the Retribution stuff and then decided to cut it and then move it to the next week.
So I feel like you have a source that has insider knowledge on what I'm about to ask. Can your source confirm or deny that the Retribution is actually WWE's Aces and Eights?
I'd have to ask.
Yeah, I mean, just
if
ask
I
him.
had a source, I would
If
ask.
you had a source that was a former Aces and Eights member, you could ask him if it's just going to be a bunch of guys in hoodies and masks.
Okay, since this is the low blow underground and anything goes, I will admit my source is Garrett Bischoff.
I knew it.
Eric Bischoff's son, who was former Aces and Eights member. Yes.
Oh, man.
Everybody knows now.
Also, how long do you feel the teases will go until it's finally debuted that the leader of Retribution is a long-standing WWE star?
I think there's potential there. I think it's quite possible that's probably younger talent or underutilized talent.
That's what I'm hoping.
With maybe somebody more notable as their leader, who in real life, backstage or underground, can teach them the ropes, the better things. But you and I were thinking, like we were speculating, who's the faction going to be? Who's this new group
man,
going to be?
I mean, because as soon as faction debuting on Raw, you're like, oh damn, this is going to be awesome. Like, this is going to be. Is it the Nexus? Is it going to be like the Nexus where they just show up and break everything? No, they're going to mess with mic cords and make lights go out and really piss off MVP. But they're going to mess with our signal and Mo's going to disappear.
So I tried to refresh the feed, which I'm happy to know did not cut the feed, just cut the feed for me.
Yeah, that's good.
But wouldn't you know it, there's all of the comments are here now. What's up, Kyle? Welcome to Low Blow Underground. Anything goes.
Hey, Kyle, one of the other guys from Green Bay, Wisconsin, was also a member of Aces and Eights.
Matt Kelly wants to know our opinion of The Rock buying the XFL. Good idea. Well, thank you. Welcome to Low Blow Underground. Anything goes. Real quick, since we're actually seeing the question now, thoughts?
It's funny. When it came up, I was like, oh, we should probably talk about this. Completely forgot about it when we were getting ready for the show. I think it's interesting. I mean, The Rock has that platinum touch. So I think The Rock and his financial backers have the chance to really turn it into something that McMahon never could. Like, The Rock hosts game shows. The Rock does, TV and movies. The Rock can't do wrong.
The Rock smells what you're cooking.
He played college ball, and I think Canadian football. He at least, loves the game. And I think if anyone's going to make the XFL into something that people will watch, it's The Rock and his group. Plus, I have a feeling like any sponsor is going to look at that and go, yeah, I'd much rather be affiliated with The Rock than Vince McMahon.
And that's where I was going to go with that to answer Matt's question. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think having another football option outside of the NFL season is typically a good thing. Even if it's not the best football, it's not the biggest names, it's not the biggest cities in some cases, that's fine. I think it's just good to have that option. Maybe they strike a deal where they are a bit more of a feeder system outside of the college ranks. But The Rock, Dwayne Johnson's got the credibility right now. So I think that he's going to put some legit care and effort into it. So I think it's a good thing.
Are you surprised that it only cost $15 million for the XFL?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to count everything I had in the bank to see if I had enough for it. I didn't. Believe it or not, I came up about 15 million short, but yeah, I mean, after bankruptcy and whatnot, something like that is, I think if they had tried to sell it before bankruptcy, it would have been substantially higher, but at this point, they just needed to sell off assets and just get that stuff out there. So I think it's a steal of a deal for The Rock and his group.
Do you think Vince is like, really, man, you couldn't have offered me money for it before I went bankrupt with it?
No, I think he's just happy it's saved. Like, there's a chance you can salvage the brand that Vince McMahon created.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm all right with that. But factions and Retribution, seriously, if you had to guess, who do you think Retribution could be?
If I seriously think Retribution could be, I'm hoping it's someone like Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay.
I feel like someone like that. He's, creative didn't have anything for him in NXT. I feel like he could put together a faction of people from NXT. Maybe, I don't want to say like anti-corporate, or there's plenty of guys and gals there that have a look that you think, all right, I could see them together in some sort of faction like this.
Right.
Like, knowing what it is with the, the hoodies and the stuff, my hope is that it's something like Tommaso and a group of hooligans or something from NXT.
Okay. A group of hooligans. I like it. Hooligans. I wonder if it is going to be that, disgruntled NXT people that haven't been given the spotlight, that haven't been called up. Although I could see it being like a Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, like those group that we came in, we were loved. You didn't do anything with us. Mustafa Ali joins in. They're already kind of their own trio right now. And honestly, that's kind of where I was thinking originally. But is the storyline there yet? Where it's like they were happy-go-lucky a week ago, and now they're hoodies and throwing, fire. Like, did it escalate that quickly, or And that's what I seriously think is that it's going to be either that group that's already on Raw, maybe with a new person or inclusion. Although, if you really, the best option to me, Riot Squad causing riots.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When the episode ended, and I was like, "Where was this new faction we were supposed to see?" And I was like, "Did they really count the Riot Squad teaming up as a faction debut?"
That's funny.
I was like, "Well played."
But like as we're talking about this and during Raw, after Raw, started thinking about some factions that could be better than what we got on Raw anyway. And I think it's possible. Any of my suggestions that I thought of, they could be Retribution. Anybody you thought of could be Retribution.
Could be, yeah.
So I'll start with one. I think Retribution could be the 4-man band. or as people in the industry call it, a band.
An actual band.
Yeah, well, maybe Adelita's Way. They've done so many. Saliva, they've all done so many themes. No, I'm thinking it's 4-man band. Drew McIntyre brings back Jinder Mahal. They don't have to wrestle right away. No. I mean, so Drew, Jinder, Heath's gone. So he's out of there. He's been kicked out of the band. All right, he's done. Yeah. And then in there we throw in, just because he's got a good rock star look, Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
And because he's got nothing else going on, and by association of Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode's probably more of a bassist, if I had to guess. Boom,
yes.
Boom, boom,
totally.
Boom. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
So I think it's a 4-man band.
I think I like it. I do. I'm surprised you didn't bring Hornswoggle back.
No.
I remember he was the first mascot of the 3-man band.
Yeah, no, this we got to move forward, man. We can't look in the past. We got to move forward. So only half, 2/3 of the 3-man band.
I think we should probably bring and actually make a stable out of the Uso Penitentiary.
But they're all in jail.
They're gonna break out though.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense. They have Molotovs. I mean,
yeah, they can break out. It's the Usos. Let's bring in like Bronson Reed. Just looks like a guy that could fit in with that group.
Okay. Way to stereotype him, but okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, if I'm going to really stereotype a look, we're going to Mia Yim, Mercedes Martinez. Like all of them look like they could just be penitentiary gangsters. Wow. It's a street look.
This is a low blow underground. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking if it's not the 4-man band, I'm thinking it's the new Nexus.
Ooh. The new Nexus.
So we talked about, not new Nexus, the new Nexus.
Yeah, it would have to be the new Nexus. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make sure to get it right. So we already know that WWE was thinking about bringing back the Nexus for WrestleMania, the All Access feature. But that was it. Maybe some on-air plans. So we know Darren Young's ready to go. We know David Otunga is literally just like sitting in the back doing nothing right now.
Yes.
Just waiting for a call, a text message, a notification of some sort.
The guy that MVP keeps talking about in catering is David Otunga.
Right. So I think Michael Tarver, I think, is still alive. And he was wearing a mask long before the Rona.
Cool.
He would wear a COVID-19 mask years ago.
That's a fact.
And then just because I like 4 in a stable, and he was never in the Nexus before, but I think it's time to bring him in. Manu. Yeah. And if this doesn't work out, you can use him in the Uso Penitentiary. Yeah. How many people right now even remember Manu?
He was a legacy for like a week and a half.
Yeah, I went with Manu. I went deep with this one here.
I
try to top that one, big boy.
I can't beat Manu. God, no.
Nobody can beat Manu. That's why they got him out of the company.
No one can even find Manu.
He actually wrestles in your state, according to Wikipedia. I wanted to make sure he was still alive.
I'm glad you checked that, Michael Carver.
Because I did not know.
Oh,
I would
man.
be like, hey, let's have Manu show up. And then somebody in the comments, a half an hour after this discussion, would comment that, oh, Manu's dead.
Manu's dead. Oh, man.
I'd be like, okay, he could still be a part of it.
I think in an effort to make Rey Mysterio stay, they are finally going to give Rey Mysterio his Latino world order.
Oh, I was going to guess the Filthy Animals, but okay.
Which would,
right.
The Filthy Animals look would work better with Retribution. Latino world order.
You're so stereotyped.
It's hoodies.
Low blow underground.
Rey Mysterio joins up with other random Hispanic wrestlers that aren't currently in other Latino factions in WWE. So really, it's just going to be Mysterio teaming up with the Lucha House Party.
Okay. All right. I see where you went with these suggestions. I tried to put a bit more thought into it, but I mean, wrestling-wise, your faction would be very entertaining.
Yes.
More entertaining to watch than the new Nexus.
The new Nexus. Yes.
I'll give you that. However, I will top your LWO with the Kane Corps. Like the corpse, Kane Corpse. Obviously led by Kane. You can't have a generator on fire with the Molotov without somebody who's a pyromaniac.
That's good.
Kane, right there, Kane.
That is good.
And as long as he's still running his city and wherever,
somewhere,
then that's fine. He could be reckless on Raw, responsible the rest of the week. So he's there. And I was trying to think of other stars with like flames,
Yeah.
And even though she's pregnant, Becky Lynch is straight fire.
She is straight fire. That's true.
So Kane and Becky are the pyromaniacs of the group.
Okay.
Seth is there because he doesn't want his pregnant wife doing anything. So he's not even really there to cause trouble. He's just there because she's pregnant.
That's true.
Yeah. And because he's there, that means Buddy Murphy's there. So the Kane Corps is the four of them when really only two want to be there. That's the Kane Corps for you. Retribution, Kane Corps.
Retribution, Kane Corps. Yeah, I think. Yes.
Kind of like Sanity.
Very much like Sanity.
Thank you, Corey. Welcome to the Low Blow Underground. Anything goes.
Anything. I was going to mention Killian Dane as a possible member, but also because Killian Dane is being rumored as a faction member for King Corbin now.
Why not?
That Killian Dane and Danny Burch are going to join SmackDown as a faction with King Corbin.
Why not?
Exactly. I was more like, where the hell's Oni Lorcan going to go if Danny Burch?
Could we get an MFing face faction, please?
Yes, it's Rey Mysterio's Lucha Underground LWO.
The Uso Penitentiary could be all right. Yeah. I would cheer the Kane Corps personally, but
I would too, just out of sheer amazement that it's a thing.
I just so Corbin gets one. So are we supposed to be rooting for these people that are setting things on fire? I mean, I get it. Pyro was great. Fire's awesome.
True.
But by that mentality, if they're destroying the show, that should be a heel move. In black and white world, yes.
Yes. No, I feel like they're going to be faces. I feel.
Yeah, I hope so. And really, I think it depends on who it is. If it is Ricochet and Cedric or underutilized NXT people, or I jokingly had mentioned, I guess it's the last group I have, it's your idea of Ciampa, my idea of Ricochet, and Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano, the four that were moved up from NXT, and then they did nothing with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now they're back again.
And Aleister Black's like, what am I doing here with these people?
They're all like, what are we doing here right now? But hey, we're on TV. So
that's the main thing right there. I just want to know, realistically, did everyone just assume it was Undisputed Era when you read a report?
I think so many people were expecting that. Yeah. Not before or not after we saw the footage, but before when it was being promoted. New stable on Raw, new faction and group on Raw. Undisputed Era.
Yeah, you're immediately going, Undisputed Era is getting called up. Oh my god. And because at that point before NXT had aired, there was no storyline. Adam Cole wasn't doing anything. Everyone was pretty much in a good spot that they could move up and storylines wouldn't be affected.
Do you think people will be disappointed if it's not more established stars? Or will they be more disappointed if it is established stars and not a young core group of people? If it's the Kane core and not the new Nexus,
Yes, I think so. I think it's going to be like, unless there's a damn good reason while like well-established stars are retaliating against something. Like we're Retribution. I'm like, you guys are literally on TV every week. You could have easily done this in another segment.
Yeah, right.
You didn't need to go mess with microphones and lights and the production truck.
But that's why I think it is. That's why I think Ali has an attachment to it with all of his, or we believed he was the one behind the hidden camera stuff.
I was going to ask that is if you feel like Retribution has a connection to the hacker.
But if you're messing with sound and stuff like that, it's the same disruptive mentality.
For sure.
So that's why I'm going towards them. But hopefully they got a nice surprise for us. I would love for something to be there. With that said, another big thing that you and I were debating off the air this week.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe's future. He stood up to Seth this week, which that's all he did. He stood up. Yeah. He rolled up the sleeves.
Yeah.
He's like, not today.
Yeah. Like, you can pick on anyone but Todd Phillips. Like, this is Saxon.
Yeah, I mean, you got to defend Byron Saxon. I get that. But
Saxon, you can have him.
Yeah. Although Byron Saxon, did you see his selfie this week? Like his Instagram that made him look like The Rock?
Yes.
Like, well done, son.
Yeah.
Look like that on TV. You'll be on TV more often. They would love to have Baby Rock there. But so we were talking about Joe and the possibility of him getting back in the ring because he's been injured for a while, the latest one being a concussion that supposedly he still hasn't been cleared from yet.
Yeah.
And that was a commercial shoot in like January or February?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, it's been a while. So that's the problem with Joe. Joe seems to be injury prone. And that's why WWE doesn't seem to give him that sustained push because every time they seemingly think about it, something happens and they have to reel him back in again.
Come on, Samoa Joe for Retribution.
It would be interesting that he's at the booth.
Yeah.
But maybe it's his people that like to kidnap people, the Nation of Violence. I don't know. They're back.
Ready? Are you ready? Taz.
Wait.
For TNA.
Okay.
Taz was at the booth for TNA when he was an Aces and Eights member. Taz was a manager of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe learned how to be a member of a hoodie brigade and a commentator at the same time from Taz.
Oh, I thought you were still going with
I ran out of
still
connection between Taz.
Still going with it. I hope it's Dominic. I hope it's Dominic and just his friends. Dominic and the Mean Street Posse.
Dominic's breaking curfew in Orlando to throw cocktails.
And we're all disappointed. It's just horrible. Just kids. Literally just kids.
Dominic, like Samoa Joe got up in Rollins' face.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just like, oh hell no. Like, you know who thought it was funny? Me. And Seth's like, okay, Joe. All right. But damned if Samoa Joe didn't sit down quick when Dominic got involved. Like,
right?
I guess you would think Joe, he was just like, all right, okay, let's watch this. Like,
don't hurt me.
It's just, I don't know. And that's why when we were talking about it, I think it was more of a tease, that Samoa Joe could still be, he can be a man. Like, I feel like that happens decently.
Is he not normally a man?
Hold on. There's always those moments on commentary where you're like, oh, this has gone too far, and the commentator stands up. Like, Lawler used to do it all the time. like if someone was being hit or like a woman was in danger, there's always that point where the commentator will stand up and go, you know what, this is too far. I can't let this go. And you're just being protective. Was this Joe being protective, or was it a tease that maybe Joe's a little bit more ready to be physical than we thought? I think it's just him being protective with as fast as he backpedaled and sat back down.
I think it's to test the reaction. I think it's to see. I mean, obviously, you don't have a live crowd there outside of the stars, but maybe to see what the social reaction to that is, and see if there is an interest in getting Joe back into the swing of things whenever he is cleared. You and I were talking. We may get a last run. I mean, how sad would it be if Joe moves to WWE, is here for years, and never gets a WWE world title, a WWE one, not NXT?
Yeah. No,
I mean, it'd be disappointing, but it happens. Not everybody gets one, and especially if you're injured. But I would like to see him get one last push, because he is a badass that people do get behind.
And he can talk. And I will say, like, I'll be the first one to admit, if he leaves commentary, I'll miss Joe in commentary.
Mm-hmm.
But leaves commentary to go back to the ring and get to, like, whoop ass?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. What I did think he proved is that when his time in the ring is over, that man can step into a booth.
Yeah. And I have no doubt he's got a lot of knowledge to give to the youngins, to be like, hey, don't suck.
This is how you don't suck.
Yeah. So last stretch of the show here, Pat McAfee, Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, man.
So we saw the little shoot video or the interview that some people thought was real. A lot of people thought was fake, because it's pro wrestling. We now don't trust anything.
No, we don't.
So we saw that, and then we saw Triple H go on the show and invite McAfee to NXT. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Well, that's the thing with, like, McAfee was already associated.
Right.
Like, if this was a radio host that had nothing to do with WWE, I would have been like, oh, this is interesting. Like you. Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it if somebody wants to start that storyline.
Yeah, right?
I'll do it.
Who can we get to show up? You don't get Adam Cole. You get, like,
the new Nexus. Yeah, I know. I know.
But not the Kane Corps, because those are established stars that want nothing to do with your show.
Yeah, and I don't know. We can't bounce back from a fire at my place. We can't do that. I would worry about even a sparkler outside the building. So, yeah.
No, man. Oh, man. Okay, so McAfee shows up, and during his commentary, he's still running down. He's like, oh, no, we made up. But he's still running down Undisputed Era, and specifically Adam Cole.
Baby.
Underground, where anything goes. And then you finally get, like, by the way, was commentary super weird for you on NXT? Just off topic a little bit?
Nah, I guess I didn't notice anything offhand, but
you could hear Beth and Mauro Ranallo, but neither one of them were there. Like,
right. I mean, yeah,
it was just weird.
Same thing with Tom. I guess I haven't been paying as much attention to NXT commentary because of Phillips.
Okay.
Like, I miss Nigel, and I miss the three of them and their chemistry.
Yeah.
So I haven't been paying as much attention, to be honest with you.
So, like, you had, like, Pat McAfee interacting with Beth Phoenix, even though Beth's not there. And like, that part of me was like, really? All right. But it was just, he's sitting there and he's talking crap, calling him like a wee little, man-child type person with a little body, not giving Adam Cole any credit. And then it costs Undisputed Era the match. Adam Cole comes over to the booth and they start crap. They push each other. They ends up with Pat kicking Adam Cole in the head. Although I thought it was like his chest. News report said his head. I'm like, I don't think that's a thing. And then you see Triple H, who is apparently a very good actor, because he just shoves Pat McAfee, and you feel like, I don't know if shoving a guy who isn't technically your employee is a good idea. They're like, get out, pushes him, and
I mean, it's pro wrestling. They shove each other all the time.
True. So it's now led to Adam Cole, who was like the
Wait a minute.
longest reigning champion on NXT, against a radio host, WWE part-time pre-show
Right.
commentator, who is jacked. Like, don't get me wrong. I know he played pro football, looks to be in great shape. I don't think he's trained professional wrestler. He probably has been at this point.
Right. I'm sure he's picked up some things. Yeah.
You know, you don't get cleared a match at, TakeOver 30, like a special anniversary show, and not be able to hold your own, you would assume, with Adam Cole. But
I mean, WWE definitely has done that with celebrities in the past. I mean, you had Bam Bam Bigelow and LT back in the day as a WrestleMania headliner.
Right.
So, and even then, if you kind of look back more recently, WrestleMania, where it was Angle and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie, wasn't the most athletic of matches, especially at times, but they had the character and the personality to carry it. I think that's what we're going to get this time around from Pat McAfee. And Undisputed Era, kind of, you're going to get more personalities in it, a little less catch as catch can wrestling.
See, and that's where I'm like NXT 30, big anniversary, Adam Cole.
Baby.
This is what you're doing. You're like, oh, okay, really? I don't have anything for him.
Well, see, I disagree on that with that mentality, because this could be a test to see how well does he work with people who aren't trained wrestlers who have been in this industry for a long time, because that's a sign of a WWE champion, of somebody who's going to carry the company. Where if you can work with all styles, you got a career ahead of you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
if this was AEW, Impact, New Japan, then obviously wrestling is still number one focus. But if Cena couldn't have mingled with so many different types from a Kevin Federline and go toe to toe with CM Punk, he wouldn't have been on top. And I think this could be a test to see if Adam Cole can work with somebody that's not on his level.
It's true.
And even then, we can't have that many hour-long classics on TakeOver 30. I mean, it's like you need to have some filler, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we love the roster so much, no matter who they pick as filler, we're not going to like it. So
that's true. That is a fact right there.
Yeah, Velveteen Dream. Oh, he should be wrestling. Or, oh, it's not the right guy to feud with. Or, and I think it'll be all right. It's going to be good to see if Adam Cole can, show his chops, stretch his resume a little bit. And even then, he can't always be in the title picture. Like, he can't push everybody at all times. So he's still on the card. That's better than a lot of the roster.
No, yeah, it's true. We talked, Tommaso Ciampa earlier. Like, they have nothing for him. But Pat McAfee gets on TV.
Different strokes for different folks, though. It's one of the things. McAfee may actually bring some new eyes to the product, believe it or not. Not a lot. It's,
Okay, Pat's mom's going to turn in. Like, that's...
You may get ESPN, though, or you may get Fox Sports covering this, that Pat McAfee is a part of this. Oh, if you don't know NXT, it's the hottest brand in WWE. And
that's true.
Again, you're probably not going to shatter ratings with his appearances, but
I guess I also don't know what his show is or how popular his show is. Like, I only know him from pre-show NXT stuff. Like, I really didn't know he had a radio show.
It's no low blow underground where anything goes, but
is it like satellite radio, or is it online? Like, what is it?
Online, I think there is a broadcast element to it as well. It's I don't know if you saw the clip with Adam on it or not, but basically he's the ringleader and you got a bunch of yes men around him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very old school radio mentality where you got one guy who is 75% of the discussion. His guest is 20%. And then the rest of them are 5 at best. Combined. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah, you're right. It's a very old school radio mentality. Some people still love it.
Yeah.
I mean, cool, but, and he's not afraid to tell it like it is.
Of course he's not.
Yeah. Very last things. I know we're running short on time here.
Ooh.
Murder Jannetti.
Yeah.
So long story short, Marty Jannetty, the not Shawn Michaels of the Rockers.
Yes.
He's been a little cuckoo bonkers for a while now. And I don't know when it happened, but I'm friends with him on Facebook and have been for years. And I see his posts a decent amount, and I can't make sense of half of them. So with that said, long story short, just this week, he decided to tell some story where basically he says that he caused somebody to go missing when he was 13, that he was working at a bowling alley, had a gay coworker who would sell him weed, eventually tried to molest him behind the bowling alley, and that's when Marty Jannetty took out the first of a few disappearances he caused.
And he put him in the Chattahoochee River.
Yeah. So all these details came out. The timeline actually adds up to his age and everything.
Yeah, because it talked about it happened when his brother came back from Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. And there was a girl that was being harassed, and so he posted pictures of her that he'll always love her. And like, where this came from, I don't know. Maybe there was some posts beforehand that I missed, but so you know, I just saw that post in my feed, but I just kept scrolling. I didn't like read through it. I just kept scrolling. I'm like, another Marty Jannetty post. Because he's just so used to being insane. But that's the thing, is now authorities are actually looking into it.
Yeah.
Not priority. They admit it's not priority, but when they have the time, they're going to start looking into this a little bit.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure anybody with a bit more current or pressing issues, they're going to. Murder is pressing, but
not as pressing as current murder.
But we don't know if he necessarily murdered him either.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to go with this. Like, how do we know we can even trust Marty on this one? That he's not doing it just to be an episode of Dark Side of the Ring.
I have so many thoughts right now. Most of them involve, how come you've never mentioned that you're Facebook friends with Marty Jannetty? And
I have mentioned. It's been so long.
Where do you, in the very first segments of this show, talk about, hey, do you have any ideas for a new segment or what you'd like to see? And then at the very end, mention that you're Facebook friends with Marty. Do you understand we could have been talking about his crazy rantings as a segment for however long you've been?
While I see where the humor comes from, I have concerns about his mental health. I mean, like, there's something wrong with him.
You also just called him cuckoo bonkers.
He is cuckoo bonkers. And there's something wrong with him.
Okay.
So I actually don't believe he made anybody disappear. I don't believe he killed anybody. Just because his track record of these, like, there was a whole maybe it was the Big Show I brought this up on. Maybe it wasn't the Low Blow then. But I remember bringing this up about a year ago, being friends with Marty Jannetty on Facebook, because he had a whole thing about he's dating a woman, but her 18-year-old daughter was hitting on him. And he was posting pictures of the 18-year-old daughter saying, I don't know, she really wants to sleep with me. I don't know if I should have sex with her or not. And like, what do you think? She's obviously really hot. And then he starts talking about if he could get both of them at the same time. He's like, do you think I could get a mother and daughter? And like, that became the discussion. And I was fascinated that so many people are like, yeah, you could do this, man. Yeah.
Dude.
There's a lot of people encouraging and enabling. And you know me, I'm an enabler, but at some point you're like,
I'm more like, are we really under the assumption that the woman he's dating is not friends with him on Facebook?
I thought that immediately. I'm like, did you block her? Like, hide that post from her? I mean,
you also block the daughter from Facebook? Because I was like, hey, is this 18-year-old hot? Should I hit it?
None of them were tagged, so
maybe
I don't know. I don't have faith that Marty is that technologically inclined to know how to block them from that post.
he's cuckoo bonkers enough to admit that he murdered someone at 13, but not cuckoo bonkers enough to make sure that no one can read his Facebook post.
I just don't think he knows how to. You know, killing a man, that's nature.
That's easy.
That's raw instinct.
Raw underground instinct.
But then, like, selecting, you know, people not to, that's complicated. That's like programming a VCR, balls.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah. But murder is easy.
Murder is easy.
Yeah. I don't know. So we'll see. Some people think it's just an attention. You know, it's a stunt just to get attention, which it's worked. Yeah,
it worked too much if the law is looking into it.
If you didn't really do it, then I guess it's okay. You have nothing to worry about. But
I mean, you didn't technically file the phony police report.
Right. He just said, "Oh, I was joking.
Oh.
I was hacked." Isn't that always the line from pro wrestlers? I was hacked.
I was hacked.
Every time. Okay, Kurt Angle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So your thoughts on all of this, very much welcome. We're wrapping up the show. Sorry if you've made comments and we're just now getting them here after the fact. You know, talk equals money. That's why we rich. We rich bitches here on the low blow underground. Make it rain. Bills. I got a pile. I got a stack of bills. I can make it rain. Yeah, debt collectors.
Now,
that's what happens when it's anything goes, you know.